Okay? What are the Cowboys going to do? All right. I got to hand it to my boy, Mark Holmes. Desperate move. Oh, I see. So if the Eagles make it, it's not a desperate move with all the losses they have. But if the Cowboys do, it's a desperate move. Jerry Jones believes in player development. Okay? All right. I can't wait for this every single week. This is one of my favorite segments. Mark, I have to hand it to him, the last 2 weeks has come in stronger. I think the season's last dress rehearsals here. And I think Mark's looking forward to September 4th. With all that said, the great Mark Holmes, the Dallas Cowboy man himself, covers the Cowboys better than anybody at Big D. And our friend, the king, the champ, Philly.500, they join us now for Battle Royale. Here we are.
What's happening?
I know, boys.
I'm ready to fight.
You giving this guy false hope, false bravado.
Come on, man. Come on.
Trying to build him up. He's getting his ass kicked every week.
85 days, 3 hours, 48 minutes, and 13 seconds, bro. Are you ready? Are you ready, brother? Are you ready?
Yeah. I'm ready.
Okay. How you feeling with Keely Ringo out there?
I feel good. I feel good.
Ooh, wait till you see the speed of George Pickens.
I'd rather have Ringo better than Trevon Diggs, the old Mr. Oh, I got a sore ACL. Yeah, we're all right. We're all right.
Wait a minute here. So you're comfortable with a Dory Jackson who was cut?
I think a Dory Jackson can hold the fort down if need be, but Ringo's going to win the job unless the Eagles want to go out and get another corner. If you're going to tell me that the coaches, Christian Parker, Vic Fangio, these guys who coached the defense last year that was number one and won a Super Bowl, if you're going to tell me they're okay with it, then I'm okay with it. I trust it.
How about this when you say Christian Parker? He was with Jahar Alexander in Green Bay. Does that make a connection for you that they would entertain that?
It does, because I think there's a possibility. I'm not saying it's definite, but I could totally see the Eagles do it. If you want an insurance policy, why not bring him in for a 1-year prove-it deal? He's probably wants big money. He's not going to get it. He wants to go to a team that he could show that he deserves the money. What better team than the Eagles? So I'm open to it, but I still think Ringo's got to get a chance to win the job, regardless.
So that means week 1 against Dallas. All right. Mark, you tell me what
I'm scared of that.
What version of Dak are we going to get in 2025?
You're going to get Dak.
The greatest version, the greatest.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Is your name Mark?
It should, Mark, because I'm the one that has to. I have to be. I'm Mr. Mark Holmes. I'm realistic, Mark Holmes. You're delusional, Mark Holmes. I'm realistic.
Your pie hole.
I'm your conscience. Mother humping.
Why do I do this?
I'm your mother humping.
Why do I do this? I'm over here in my own
world. Why do I do this? Woe is me.
Good, and I come in here on Wednesday afternoon to get disrespected by your pie hole. Now shut up and let me answer the question.
Wipe your ass with your own hand.
Go ahead, Mark. Let me hear you, brother.
Actually, right now, Dak is looking pretty good. Today, touchdown pass. They basically 11 on 11. Situation was you're down by 8 points. The boom ends up hitting George Pickens in the end zone, hits Miles Sanders on the 2-point conversion and so on. But we know that this is just mini camp, man. This don't mean shit till they put the pads on and go for real. In fact, mini camp and training camp really don't mean anything. It's really when you get into the games. But right now, I tell you one thing that looks good, that's going to help us, that definitely, good luck, Kylie Ringo, with my man who's got the flypaper hands and George Pickens who's catching everything. That guy seems to have been the biggest blessing that the Dallas Cowboys have had. This I don't understand what problems they had with the Steelers, but this guy is on a new leaf and he is doing everything the right way, and that will help Dak.
I want to give you this here, and I want to give you a comment here. And this goes to you, Philly. So Chris Sims just came out with his top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Okay. Oh,
And-
you won't have Dak in it.
Wait a minute.
You won't have Dak in it.
And
Later.
he dropped Jalen Hurts, who won the MVP award just a couple months ago in February, and he put Baker Mayfield, and this is who he has ahead of him. Lamar Jackson, I guess, is number 1 overall. So he has Lamar, Allen, the usual suspects, Burrow in the top 4, Jaden Daniels 5, Matthew Stafford 6, CJ Stroud 7, Herbert 8, and Baker Mayfield 9, and Jalen Hurts 10. I mean, why the disrespect for the reigning Super Bowl MVP?
It's been. I mean, look who's doing it. It's been disrespectful from the get-go. So guys like that, I just think their ego gets hurt when they're wrong, and instead of being humble and say, "Man, I was wrong about this guy," they double down. They'll sneaky. They'll be sneaky about where they give compliments, but then at the moments like this, they double down on their stupidity. First of all, Lamar Jackson's not the number 1 quarterback. So right there, I have a problem with the list. I don't see how you can't put Mahomes on there. I mean, let's just be fair.
5 Super Bowls for sure.
I just don't see that. So, right there, I already have a problem with the list, and we're on number 1. So no, I don't put much stock into what he says.
How about the fact that A.J. Brown today said that he needed a real quarterback to throw with him in the offseason? And this was posted on John Clark's Twitter page, and that Jalen, I guess, is Malibu Hurts now, and he's out in Malibu hanging out with all the honeys, and he's hanging out with the Hollywood types. And this is John Clark, not me. This ain't Big Sills. He said, I need a quarterback to throw with me.
Ooh.
We got 5 guys on the roster. I mean, I take that as a cryptic shot at Hurts. That what happened with the relationship, dude?
I don't think
these guys are as friendly as they used to be.
I don't think it has anything to do with it, except for Hurts can't be there to throw to him. It's it. He's somebody
Tanner
come and
McKee
throw.
can't either.
Well, I don't know what Tanner McKee is doing.
Oh, he must have engagements too.
Maybe he's got a date. I don't know.
Well, what's McCord, the rookie?
Maybe he's going to Skinny Joey Merlino's cheesesteak shop, and he's bringing a couple packages and envelopes. I don't know.
Well, let me ask you then, Mark. What kind of relationship does CD have with Dak?
Oh, they got a great relationship. But let me at least, before I touch on that, is Doc Walker. Okay, former
Doc, great guy.
Doc always says, I love Doc Walker, even though he hates the Cowboys. He says it's hard to be hungry when your refrigerator's full. And see, herein lies the problem that Hollywood or California dreaming Jalen Hurts, and you get of course, the Madden covers. You got all of these now new distractions because all of a sudden everybody wants a piece of you, where the focus gets a little bit lost on the field. Now, as far as Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, and I'm going to put George Pickens in there too. This is the new triplets where we got 2 receivers because they're all on the same page. They're all on the same page working together to try and build something. You can shake your hand. But
why are you not in agreement, Philly?
Because this is like the same shit we've heard for the last 10 years with Dallas. Every year, it's their year. They're in agreement. They got this going. They got that going. Yeah, one of these days, but not for another 50 years. Okay, all I care about the Cowboys. The only thing that matters about the Cowboys is what do you do in the playoffs? That's what I want to see.
You got to get to the playoffs before you can do anything in there.
You got to get there. And we'll see if they get there. We'll see if they get there.
Hey, Philly, how come you dismissed the 9-4? This has nothing to do with the playoffs on September 4th. He does play good against you guys.
Here's why I do.
It won't matter.
Because
it's going to choke in the playoffs.
It's not the same team. You're not dealing with the team that we currently have. 3 years ago is not the same team, Sills. 4 years ago is not the same team. If this was the old days and there wasn't free agency and you kept guys around a lot longer, there would be more stock in it. But to me, it doesn't hold a lot of stock when we were up and down the last, 10 years of his career, the team that we're currently constructed is not the team that he beat before. So that's why I don't put a lot of stock in it.
Let me ask you this then. Mark, what's the strength of the Dallas Cowboys in 2025? It'll be what?
Definitely the passing game. And surprisingly, the linebackers. Our linebacking core is actually changed. You know what? I'm sick of your side.
All I'm doing is giving you the eye, mother humper. Shut up and answer the question.
Without a doubt, the passing game is going to be good. You've talked about Jalen Tolbert being a decent receiver. He's just not a number 2. He actually had a decent season last year. He will thrive this year having George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb out there. In the same way, we always get credit how good Cedric Wilson was. He was only good for 1 year when we had Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, because everybody had to focus on those guys, that number 3 receiver becomes really good. And if our offensive line can play well, it will be the passing game, which will help open up the run.
Do you think, Mark, one of the reasons why you're high on the passing game is because the coordinators, now the head coach, in the relationship with the quarterback is, again, here's the one thing that I'll give Philly on this. Hurts has had to adapt to it and had to accept it. He's had 6 play callers since he's been in Philly.
That's crazy. That's
and he's still won, which is nutty. Okay? And I'll say this to you, Philly. Do you not think, he's finally accepted it, right? Because at the end of the day, that's just how they do business. 6 coordinator changes since he's been in Philadelphia is a lot.
Yeah, I almost look at him as a de facto offensive coordinator at this point. At what point isn't he? He's seen how many different systems, how many different situations. He's got to be becoming an expert on all the different scenarios and different things. So I almost look at him as a de facto offensive coordinator at this point, to be honest.
I will say, though, he does get a little help because he does have the best offensive line in football. And when you do have a 2,000-yard running back and you're only asked to throw 18 touchdown passes, it's not like we're saying you got to throw, 35, 40 times a game and have to win the games for us, that either it's your arm and you having to do that. Fortunately has, and to your credit, you have a great offense all the way around that's well balanced. So when you got a great offensive line, everybody's a freaking genius.
No doubt about it. When you have a great offensive line, you're going to win a lot of games, and you should be able to go far in the playoffs. That's why Dak Prescott had the best offensive line the first 3 years of his career. He did nothing with it. But we do agree, offensive line is important, Mark. It wasn't good enough for Dak, but it is good enough for Jalen Hurts. And the fact is, Hurts doesn't have to throw 30 times. You know what, though? When Hurts has to make the throw, he makes the throw. When he has to make that first down, he makes that first down. He gets less opportunities to do more. So I don't know how you can blast the guy for that.
To correct you, I'm glad to see that you're finally saying that Dak Prescott hasn't had the greatest offensive line every year like you usually do. You say it's the first 3 years.
Nobody said he had the greatest offensive line.
No, but hold on. The second year that Dak Prescott was there was the year that we were dealing with Zeke Elliott being suspended for 6 games, and every week he was going to New York fighting that thing. So I don't know that you could look and say that second year was a great year for Dak, even though he didn't have his running back. And the third year was...
What running back does he have this year?
Well, he's got Miles Sanders. It's running back by committee. But at least he has... The difference between then and now is Dak is a better quarterback than he was as a rookie in his sophomore year. That having these 2 wide receivers are going to open up things to help the running game. And it's not ideal.
How about this for you? Hey, Philly, give me a breakout Eagle this year.
Keely Ringo.
Here we go.
Yeah, you didn't like that one.
Keely Ringo.
I'm saying Ringo. And I'll give you another.
He'll be benched by week 2.
He's going to be a stud.
He's going to be burnt toast week 1.
He's going to be a stud. But the other one is Jalix Hunt. Jalix Hunt is a star in the making. I heard the first time I ever heard that kid talk, I knew he was a star. Jalix Hunt is going to be a monster.
I got to tell you, hey, Philly, you know who I'm really starting to like a lot?
Jordan Davis.
No, not Not White Castle. I like White Castle too, if you can tell. But I like this kid Nolan Smith. I like the fact when he gets up there in front of the mic, man, he looks like a leader. Hey, Mark, for you, give me a breakout Cowboy.
I actually think it's going to be rookie Donovan Easy. And he's so far looking really good. Again, it's mini camp and stuff. But the way he bend the edge, I think that he's going to end up being really, really good. That'll help us out on that defense.
So, okay. So, for you, how do you feel about Kevin Patullo? Now, I want to give you something on what Jalen said yesterday. So, Jalen, when asked the question about Kevin Patullo being a good offensive coordinator, he goes, whoa. Way too soon. Because I don't know the sequencing. We don't know how he's going to go through, again, calling a play. Do you have any concern? Even though, I'll say this, Philly, I don't care he's been in the building 1,000 years, but he's never been a play caller. And that's a feel for the game. So, in your opinion, do you have any concern about this?
Slight concern because we don't know. But I would assume, like I said, I think Hurts is the de facto offensive coordinator here anyways. I can't imagine them going away too much from what they've done in the past. We'll see how he calls plays. I think there's reasons to, want to see him prove it. But, they're just so talented, and you know what they're going to do. There's nothing like fancy about what they're going to do, Sills. They're going to beat you up and wear you down. And that's it. I don't think you need a brain surgeon to run that offense, to be honest.
Mark, I'm going to ask you a tough question on that.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Let me get ready for this one.
If you're Jerry Jones and you're Stephen Jones, and when the baton gets passed and you're Stephen Jones and you're running the Cowboys, and you've seen all these years, this is the 10th year for Dak Prescott, 2025. How are in the world if this guy doesn't? You know what? You don't have to win the Super Bowl this year, but you have to go somewhere in the playoffs.
Oh, definitely.
You just can't limp in, get knocked out by the Bucs or whatever, and you just can't. And going into another year, because this is Jerry's last year, Steven's going to take over. In your opinion, how big is 2025 for Dak?
Well, he's got to stay healthy. That's going to be the big thing. And basically, with the way the contract is set up, you really have this year and next year, and then there's an out. And so I think that you still have 2 seasons because you don't have an heir apparent. And you're not going to be in a position to just grab one of those guys. And when you look around at free agency, there's not a lot of good answers. This is the problem for every team out there. The fact that the Steelers been held hostage by Aaron Rodgers, there's not a whole lot of options right there. There's nobody you can say that's on the roster that's ready to take over. Now, Joe Milton in practice so far is seeming to take a lot of time to make decisions and overthrowing people. And Will Greer's not the answer. So until you got something better, there's not much you can do.
How about this, Philly? I'm going to ask you and then go back to Mark, and I want to watch Mark's face when I ask you this. Every contract can be moved. We've seen it. Matthew Stafford, what have you. Everything can be done, especially with the way you can defer money today. Dak can be moved. Now, he has no trade, but you have to ask Dak, how much longer do you want to stay in Dallas? Joe Burrow's going to ask the same question in Cincinnati if that fucker can't. If they can't maintain players like Trey Hendrickson, why would you stay there with Mike Brown who doesn't open up the zipper? I got 2 options for Dallas. Now, you tell me who's the better quarterback, Baker Mayfield or Dak?
Am I being honest?
4,600 yards last year.
Am I being honest?
And he's a free agent, and he's beaten the Eagles 2 of the last 3 years.
I think. God, I hate to freaking say this shit. I don't want to say this because
you go ahead and say it.
But I think Dak's a better quarterback, regular season quarterback, not playoffs, but regular season quarterback. I don't know what Mayfield is in the playoffs either, though. To be honest,
wait, he has beaten the Eagles.
He did beat us, but that team we came in as the Walking Dead. So
he beat the shit out of you last year in the regular season too.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm keeping it real and I'm trying to be honest. I like I said, I think Dak's a better regular season quarterback. I don't think he's a very good big game quarterback. But I would say I'll be honest, I would take Dak before I would take Mayfield.
Now, how about this one?
I hate saying it.
If you're Stephen Jones, I mean, and Joe Burrow wants out, I'm telling you, if Joe Burrow doesn't win this year, I would want the fuck out of Cincinnati. And if I'm Dallas,
You'd be the first one.
I would do everything in my power to try to make a trade for Cincinnati to get Joe Burrow in there.
But I'll say this though, if Dak don't take them to the NFC Championship game,
what's the point of paying him 60?
He's got to go.
Mark, don't you agree? If you have a transition plan, I mean, and you don't go anywhere and you get bumped in the opening round, and then you're going into an 11th year, it's like you're in the toilet bowl. You're just circling. You're not going down. You're not doing anything. It's got to get to a point where there's got to be a return.
Ask a question here. What other rookie coach has Super Bowl or bust on him?
Nobody. You're in Dallas, though.
What does that mean?
To me, it's not the
coach.
that
shit. You know what? Sorry. The star is tarnished, bro. It's been 30 years in aptitude. I keep hearing this. Well, we got standards.
Telling me that.
You have standards, but you're sitting there going home alone in the club because your standards are so fucking high that the chick that wants to go ahead and
he's already given Dak a pass. He's already given him a pass for this year.
You can't go ahead and hold on, bro.
Dak Prescott's a 32-year-old quarterback. Of course,
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but now you have a first-time head coach and a whole new coaching staff, and you literally
that's not an excuse. Hurts deals with that every year.
Okay, he deals with an offensive coordinator. We wipe the slate clean on everybody. Dude, you're starting all over from an ass team last year, and you're bringing in more players.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me show you this, Mark. Okay, 2022, they went to the Super Bowl, and they hired a training wheels coordinator, and they fucking fell apart. That could go down the route this time the same way.
True.
The last time they had success, they hired outside the organization twice, Steichen, and also what they did with Kellen a year ago. There's no giving that thing's going to be a fucking success. Okay, so Hurts has to deal with that and overcome that. 6 different coordinators. They're still winning. Dude, I disagree, Mark. I think Dallas has a standard. Bro, you're the biggest brand in the world. You can't fucking go 7-9.
I didn't say 7-9. I said the team is better. But to say that to go from 7-9 last year to NFC Championship with the brand new coach, you're putting expectations that maybe aren't there yet.
They went from a nuclear meltdown where they were 6-8 in the last 13 games and won the Super Bowl the following year.
That's right.
Okay, I'm just saying.
No excuses, Mark.
You're carving up excuses.
No excuses. No excuses. Brand. Okay, I hear what you Eagles are saying, but you're getting ahead. You're getting the horse before the cart right now.
Yeah, this is it, man. This is now and never. All in Dak Prescott.
Okay.
What do you got this year? Let's see.
Really
he's going to fail. That's what it is. You already know he's going to fail.
If Dak Prescott right now were to retire, what kind of career would he have had in Dallas, in your opinion?
Tony Romo.
Okay.
I mean, basically, right now he's on the precipice of breaking Tony Romo's Cowboys records.
Wow.
So that's where you are. I mean, you've got Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, Danny White, Tony Romo, Dak Prescott. I mean, that's where you would be if he could get to a Super Bowl and win it. Then he's number 3, but he's got to do that. That's the only thing that's missing from his career right now.
For you, Philly, why did disrespect around the National Football League and around in the media circles about Jalen Hurts?
I think there's a lot of people within the media, and just my opinion, that have been wrong about him, have been totally wrong about him. And they can't humble themselves enough to say, hey, look, I was wrong about the kid. So they look for these reasons to make excuses on why he's not a good quarterback or why he can't do this or he can't do that. But all he does is keep winning. So, to me, I don't put a lot of stock in what they say.
But here, I'm going to put when you see a PFF ranking or you see Chris Sims,
I
or you
don't
see
put
whatever. Well, I'm just saying here. When you're talking about the best talents, I said this yesterday, and you tell me if you agree. When you look at the other guys that are ranked ahead of him, it's because you're based on individual skill set. Nobody's ever going to say Lamar Jackson is a greater. I mean, Tom Brady is a greater athlete than Lamar Jackson. That's just not going to happen. The problem that you have with those lists is this. I think you have to be the smartest player in the league at that position to win, the best teammate to win. And Hurts falls in that line. Jalen Hurts, when you line him up with Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, bro, he's not in the room with them. But is he smarter than Lamar? Yes. I think he sees the game better than Lamar. I think he's smarter at times than Josh Allen. You win Super Bowls with smarts. You don't have to be the greatest athlete to win the Super Bowl. Does anybody going to tell me that Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are spectacular athletes over Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson? No. I think he sees the game better than those other guys. And that's what makes him a great player in that position. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think that's perfectly
He's
fine.
a smart kid, man.
He is a smart kid, and to me, he doesn't succumb to pressure. The bigger the moment, he seems to play better. So I think he's a winner. I don't think that this league and the way we judge players now, and I've said this before in this show, I don't think the way we look at quarterbacks or other positions, like we don't judge them by the same standards that we used to judge them by. And one of those things was winning. That used to mean a lot. It seems like now it's all about the stats, the touchdown passes, the throwing yards. But going into the playoffs and winning the big games, people, they turn their nose to it. And I think that's wrong.
How about this one here? This is one for you, Philly. Do you have any concern because the buddy relationship and the buddy relationship that Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni has, that he's going to have more influence in the play calling than what he did a year ago with Kellen Moore? Because again, that relationship with Brian Johnson was there also when they elevated him. Jalen Hurts and him were boys back to Houston. Do you get any concern that gives Nick more latitude to go in there? Because remember, he's never been a play caller. He's a novice in this.
Okay? No, I don't think so. I'm not gonna
He's done it before. He did it with Brian.
But the thing is like the identity is established with this offense. A couple years ago, we didn't have Saquon Barkley. They were trying to do things that we weren't. Now you got Saquon Barkley. You've accepted that you're going to run the ball a lot. Okay, we're going to be one of the few teams that run the ball as much as we are. I don't think that you need a surgeon general to be the offensive coordinator. I don't think so. If you were running complex wide receiver schemes and routes and doing all this stuff, you need a better coordinator. But for what the Eagles are, the way they're built, I don't think you need a brain surgeon.
Is Dak Prescott a Hall of Fame candidate?
No, not even close.
Mark?
Not without a Super Bowl.
So you think Phillip Rivers is not a Hall of Famer?
Hell no.
Oh,
no. I'd have to look at his numbers, but I don't think so.
Hall of Fame.
Well, Rivers never won in the playoffs either.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to Canton.
No, it doesn't.
Super Bowls don't validate Canton.
No, but they sure help.
Okay, Eli will be in there.
They sure help.
Okay, well, I can name you. There's more quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame that haven't won Super Bowls.
Yeah,
than there are than half.
I don't think Dak's a Hall of Famer. I don't think Tony Romo's a Hall of Famer. Listen, I don't even think Donovan McNabb.
I'm a Cowboy homer, and I don't think Tony Romo is.
You think Dan Marino and a guy like Warren Moon aren't Hall of Fame players?
Yes, those two are. Yes.
They're probably two of the greatest. Pure passers I've ever watched.
Although Warren Moon's playoffs were atrocious.
Warren Moon.
Yeah, well, they ran that stupid
playoffs
run and shoot, and you couldn't run. They couldn't run the ball in the playoffs. It's like what you see with a lot of quarterbacks today. You go into the playoffs. You want to throw during the season. These guys throw 35 times a game. You get in the playoffs. It's not that kind of game anymore. The quarterbacks that throw a lot lose. including Dallas, because look at
That's
Dak
how-
and his interceptions when he gets to. I mean, I've
Yeah,
never seen a guy go to the playoffs and throw a pick six. I mean, it's like every playoff game, I know Dak Prescott will throw a pick six. It'll happen, or he'll run out the clock with no
You think Dan
timeouts.
Fouts is not a Hall of Fame player?
No, I think he is. I don't think it stops you from getting the Hall of Fame, but I think that winning
it helps you get in there.
helps you more than it hurts you. You know, look, I think Randall Cunningham should be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't think McNabb should be in the Hall of Fame.
How about
Because
Jim
to me,
Kelly?
Randall
Jim
changed
Kelly's
again. Jim Kelly, yeah, of course.
Kelly should.
Hall of Famer. Yeah, I think those.
Just having
I
to throw
think
a
Eli
freaking
Manning.
Buffalo
Look, I
team.
think
He
Eli
did in the
Manning
cold
should
weather.
get in because of his Super Bowls.
Okay,
I think if you look at Eli, he won a Super Bowl against an undefeated Patriots team. Both times he won, and I hate Eli Manning. I hate the Giants. Both times he won, he was on the road as a playoff wildcard team. And he went in, he beat Dallas, was a 1 seed. Green Bay was like a 2 seed. He beat all these 1 seeds like twice. I think he actually gets in because of those rings.
Well, how about this about Eli? I agreed with you on that, Philly. But when you're talking about Eli, the last 10 years, he was 61 and 105.
I know.
He threw more picks than touchdowns.
He stunk.
And he's got a 500 record. He's 117 and 117.
I know.
That's Hall of Fame.
But it's not. But the
I think
Super
Rivers
Bowls
was
have
better.
to help. I think the Super Bowls put you over the top. I do. I think if Jalen Hurts wins one more Super Bowl, he's going to Hall of Fame. You know, that's the way I think.
With less than 30,000 passing yards, would be the only.
If he wins 2 Super Bowls, he's going to the Hall of Fame. So,
well, I don't know, man.
The guy, that would be 3 Super Bowls. What if he wins 3 Super Bowls? Let's say he wins 2 more in the next 5 years. You think he's going?
I think there's a great chance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying that. You know what, though? You go in also with your accomplishments in what you accomplished in the league.
I agree. But for guys that don't have the numbers,
the Super Bowls will matter.
Super Bowls is what I'm saying. Yes.
Super
like
Bowls
for instance, if Barkley goes out and has another 2,000-yard season, he'll be the first player in history to ever do it. That will help him get in, even though he doesn't maybe have the numbers from being with the Giants.
Who do you think's had a better career, Christian McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley?
To this point, I think McCaffrey has had a better career as a whole. I think Saquon's best years are the next 2 to 3.
Wait, what's his name? Has nearly 550 receptions.
Yeah, as of right now, where in what they've done so far, you got to give McCaffrey the nod. But I believe that the prime years for Barkley are starting right now.
Do you think CeeDee Lamb is on a projection to be a Hall of Famer?
No.
Yes.
No.
Are you kidding me? The numbers for him to start his career?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll agree to disagree on that one.
He's better than Des Bryant.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
CeeDee's better than Des.
CeeDee Lamb's numbers, yes, right now. And you're going to see him be able to continue to roll. I mean, he's got the Dallas Cowboys single season record of 1,700 yards. Even with freaking Cooper Rush last year throwing to him, he had 1,100 yards.
Wow. I voted for, by the way, Des for the College Football Hall of Fame last year.
And he should be there. Des was an incredible athlete. But Des, the thing about Des, why his career wasn't able to go, was Des was a basically dry in the dirt guy. Make the shit up and be able to roll. But and he could just out physical people. Unfortunately, when he started slowing down, he didn't have the skill set to be able to continue to perform in the same level. And see, that's where Jerry Rice was such a tactician. Even though he got older, he could rely on his route running and things and being in the right place at the right time. And that's the difference with Des Bryant. Des Bryant, young, was an incredible athlete and a great wide receiver, but it just didn't maintain as he got older.
Last question for you guys. First, Philly. Yesterday was the last dress rehearsal. How you feeling about, do you have enough talent on that football team, in your opinion, with all the losses that you have and a lot of the question marks that you have with guys that have not performed before and a lot of injured dudes? You got Nolan still injured. You still got Nakobe injured, and your first-round draft choice won't be ready probably until August. That's what they're saying, that he may come sooner because he's younger. How do you feel about it?
I feel
Coming out
great.
of Dominican.
I feel great. I think they're more than talented. I think there's two questions that we've got to ask ourselves about the team, the cornerback and the safety position. I think we're going to have to see how that plays out. But I like the young talent. I like that this young talent played inside the playoffs last year and performed well. So I expect them to play good, especially down the stretch. We'll see where they are health-wise coming into the season. That, of course, will be important, but I think they have more than enough to go back and win again.
Have you done enough, Mark, to prepare yourself for September 4th to beat that Eagle team?
I still think there's a lot of question marks in our secondary, although Diggs is saying that he's shooting for September 4th, which I'm not sure how much rust he's going to have. That's going to be my worry, is the secondary. And I still think the Cowboys still need more help on the defensive line to stop the run.
Will you have Micah under contract by the time September 4th comes?
I think they will. Micah seems to be planning on being at training camp. He's already got a house in Oxnard for training camp for himself and his family to stay at. He's saying all the right things and all that, and I hope that the Cowboys get the thing done. I don't want to see a situation where – see, here's the thing that people don't understand about Micah Parsons being there at training camp. It not only hurts Micah Parsons, but it also hurts the rest of the team, because if you have a guy like Tyler Guyton who's going against Micah Parsons in practice, it makes him better. It makes everybody else better, and you're going to miss the leadership standpoint.
Don't you see that shit-eating grin over there at Philly, man? He's just looking at you right now. And why do I get the sense he's laughing at everything you say about your Cowboys? I mean, look at him.
Because he's laughing at everything I say about my Cowboys?
Yeah. Well,
because it's a broken record for 7 years. It's the same thing every year.
You know what?
That Dallas team can't run the ball, and they can't stop the run. You don't win in this league if you can't do those.
You know what?
An
inventor can be wrong 99 times, but once he finally gets it right, that one thing he gets right makes him rich. Okay,
I'll take the odds. I'll take the odds. I'll take the odds.
That sucker right.
I'll take those odds. This is not the one time.
I can't wait for September 4th. Mark,
you watch. Mark's going to come in. He's going to come in all sad after we kick that team's ass. We got a lot of stuff. Dak didn't get any help. The new offensive line, they couldn't make any stops, and the Eagles line just took advantage of us, and Barkley just wore us down.
Are you still?
It's not Dak's fault.
Mark, can you imagine if you win?
Poor Dak.
Oh my God! It might crush Philly.500. He might not show up. Are you still guaranteeing a victory?
I'm just going to say playoffs. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. If we lose week 1,
okay.
Playoffs.
Look at Philly. If we lose, so what? I don't care, man. It's all about us.
Playoffs.
Getting to Santa Clara.
More. See, Dallas has got more pressure than us.
No,
right? That's how I see you, because you've got a team that hasn't won anything. They haven't proved anything. My team is going to have a banner rose that says they're Super Bowl champions. I think the pressure is on Dak Prescott. I think
Hollywood
it's on
Eagles that have.
I don't think it's on the Eagles.
Okay, your refrigerator's full.
Wait a minute.
I don't think it's on the Eagles.
Do you, Mark? Do you think you have more pressure on you guys in that game?
No.
How can a quarterback, 32 years old, not have pressure?
This is the Christians versus the Lions. Okay. We're the sacrificial team. You're not supposed to win this one.
He's setting you up, Philly. He's setting you up, Philly, with that. See what
I know. I don't even listen to that. I just ignore that because I know what
he's doing. Those guys are so fucking good.
But the thing about it is, Dak Prescott's a 32-year-old quarterback that hasn't shown that
31.
You can't tell me that he doesn't come into this season without pressure.
31.
And that this game, 32. I think it'll be 32 by the time season starts,
31.
Right?
Let's fuck that. 31. Hey, Mark,
31, 33. What's the difference?
Let's look up Joe Boo Sports Report on everything, okay? JOBU or Mark Holmes. Either one, you'll find me.
How about Champ?
Or licking Dak's balls. There you go. Type that in too.
My God almighty, what a way to end it. I will see you guys. Thank you so much for doing it. And Mark,
How do I do this shit?
you're fighting.
How do I do this
Mark, you've been fighting very hard the last 3, man.
Keep fighting, Mark.
I mean, because
You ain't going nowhere.
hope
He's
alive.
just throwing punch. He's doing this.
Hey.
And he's going nowhere. I'm just
What
holding
are
his
you
head.
saying? He's flailing?
Yeah, he's just throwing like this, and I'm just holding his head. Super
Oh,
Bowl champ,
my
Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl champ.
You guys are fucked up. Man. I'll talk to you guys later. All right, man.
Wait, one question. How did the Rumble go with Howard Eskin and crew?
No, we're working on it.
Oh, okay.
I know. We're getting that. Yeah, no. Angelo's already agreed. Howard's got to find time. You guys have inspired. Thank you, bros.
Peace. Thank
Peace
you.
out.
You got it. Boy, that September 4th is going to be something else to watch. I cannot wait. Can you imagine? Oh, my God. We may have to do a special on that Friday. Mark will be incorrigible if they win. Holy shit. How many video? If the Cowboys win, there'll probably be 17,000 videos. He'll probably do this while he's sleeping. Oh, yeah. There'll be a video on him while he's sleeping. He'll be like this. I just woke up. The Cowboys beat the Eagles. Holy cow. Guys, I appreciate you guys so much, man. Don't forget our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason, because they win. With over $30 billion recovered. Told you that's what makes them #1. $26 million they got for a family in Pennsylvania. They got $12 million for a family in Florida. They are just absolutely the best injury attorneys in the United States of America. For more information, do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.